The Walking Dead's Negan can be easily summed up as a bad guy in the minds of most fans. But did you know that he has redeemed himself in the eyes of many viewers? There have been many instances where the character displayed redeeming qualities, or at least moments that almost make you forget that he started as a mass murderer. Watch this video fully for details. Let's talk about the times when Negan redeemed himself in The Walking Dead. The first scenario: Negan goes back to a cell after escaping. The first indication that Negan has modified his methods was in The Walking Dead Season 9's mid-season episode, Adaptation. Negan leaves Alexandria and returns to his once thriving Sanctuary of Saviors, only to find it decaying and filled by walkers, including some of his slain former followers, after leaving his unlocked cell in the mid-season finale. The guy who had everything realizes he now has nothing, and gladly returns to a cell in Alexandria without injuring any of his captors. Next, Negan rescues Judith and her dog from a storm. The Walking Dead Season 9 finale, The Storm, saw Negan's first really heroic gesture. When a severe snowfall hits Alexandria, Judith rushes outdoors to save Daryl's dog. Negan, aware of the danger she's in, rushes to rescue Judith and dog, and finally saves the two, who were freezing to death, winning the confidence of several Alexandrians. Negan rescuing Judith is emblematic of how he has evolved, considering that he's the same guy who made her father's life miserable. The scene also validates Carl Grimes' dying plea for Rick to make peace and live with Negan rather than just murder him. Also, Lydia was saved from bullies by Negan. Negan meets Lydia, who is trying to adapt in Alexandria after leaving Alpha, her mother, and the Whisperers behind at the start of The Walking Dead Season 10. Lydia is ambushed one night by Gage, Alfred, and Margot, who suspect her of being a part of the Whisperers' covert killings at the Kingdom's Fair, which resulted in their friend's skulls being spiked. Negan rushes to her aid. However, as is so frequently the case with the redeemed Negan, he's presented as an anti-hero for mistakenly killing Margot while saving Lydia. And another, Negan murders Alpha for Carol. Negan escapes Alexandria and joins the Whisperers in the aftermath of Margot's death. Negan seems to have shifted allegiances to the skin-wearing gang at first. Still, it is subsequently revealed that he has been working secretly for Carol, and Negan entered the Whisperers to murder Alpha. Although Negan successfully decapitated Alpha, there were more shades of gray during his time with the Whisperers, since he was part of the squad that murdered Hilltop residents. Negan used Lydia as bait to get to Alpha to let down her guard. Although Negan's ultimate conduct was for the betterment of the people, his method of accomplishing so did not convince everyone to forgive him for his previous atrocities. Also, Negan defends Herschel from the Commonwealth. The Walking Dead's last season did a fantastic job of forcing Negan to spend time with some of his most ruthless victims, such as Maggie and Ezekiel. Negan and Herschel, Glenn and Maggie's son, have had one of the most fascinating relationships. Herschel knows nothing about Negan except that he's a nasty guy who murdered his father, but it doesn't stop Negan from saving Herschel from a Commonwealth soldier in Season 11's The Rotten Core. Although Negan spared Herschel's life, the little kid still harbors resentment for his father's assassin. Maggie finally admits Negan has changed. While saving Herschel did not influence the boy's opinion of Negan, it did change Maggie's. Maggie begs Negan to take after Herschel as she prepares to defend the Hilltop against Hornsby and the Commonwealth Army, a request he has to ignore to look after his new community. Nonetheless, it's one of the most pivotal moments in The Walking Dead's final season, as Maggie is prepared to set aside their history, including Glenn's death, due to Negan's heroic gesture. For the first time, the two part ways amicably, laying the groundwork for their future collaboration in the Walking Dead spin-off Dead City. In Walking Dead Season 11, Negan almost gets Glenn's death. Negan plots to ignite an uprising with the assistance of Ezekiel after being arrested by the Commonwealth and sent to one of their forced labor camps in Season 11's Outpost 22. Negan is willing to risk his life by sacrificing himself in order to become a martyr who would unify the inmates and encourage them to revolt against the Commonwealth. However, as punishment, Negan is forced to kneel in front of a Commonwealth Army firing squad, just as Rick, Glenn, and the rest of the gang were when Negan was initially presented. Reminiscent of Negan's past villainy, the Commonwealth Warden chooses to murder Annie, Negan's wife, instead, prompting Negan to beg for it to be him instead, similar to how Rick asked for Negan to slice off his limb rather than Carl's in The Walking Dead Season 7. Negan and Annie are eventually saved by Ezekiel, Daryl, Rosita, and other Alexandrians. Still, Negan's willingness to sacrifice himself is another chapter in his redemption journey on The Walking Dead. Yet for some, his previous acts mean he can never be really rehabilitated. Jeffrey Dean Morgan spills what TWD prop he really wanted to take home. Meanwhile, The Walking Dead actor Jeffrey Dean Morgan has revealed the prop he wanted to take home from the production. After 11 seasons and 12 years on the air, the apocalyptic AMC series will come to an end. Only Carol, played by Melissa McBride, and Daryl, played by Norman Reedus, remain from the original gang that has been on the show for almost a decade since the premiere. However, the show has added numerous major characters throughout the years, including Maggie, played by Lauren Cohen, Judith, played by Kaylee Fleming, and the somewhat redeemed villain, Negan, played by Morgan. The Walking Dead cast and crew disclosed to Entertainment Weekly which items and souvenirs they were permitted to take home once shooting was over. Morgan said that he brought home Negan's most famous artifact, the barbed wire bound bat known as Lucille, years ago, and kept it in a glass case in his office. However, the actor stated that he would have loved to bring home a few additional items from the set, which he's currently working on obtaining. One response was eerily reminiscent of Negan, who practically taxed Alexandria throughout his wicked journey, as Morgan noted that he would have appreciated taking something from other people, notably Daryl. Next up, when will Negan reappear? Morgan's answer is hilariously appropriate considering his character's checkered history with Daryl, which includes Negan capturing Daryl shortly after his introduction in the season 6 finale. The actor stated that he had wanted to remove something valuable from Daryl, also refers to his character's earlier technique for winning respect, which required taking away the things that his opponents valued for them, to stay loyal to him. Though Negan seems to have been redeemed since his initial appearance on the show, it's funny to see how much of the character lingered with Morgan based on his desire to seize Daryl's crossbow. Morgan's longing for the wicked part he formerly played is also evident in his desire to preserve the character's leather jacket, which he has shorn since changing his ways. While Negan is not the same guy he was when he first appeared on The Walking Dead, how much the character has evolved is up to interpretation, since joyfully and brutally executing Abraham, played by Michael Cudlitz, and Glenn, played by Stephen Yeun, he has done some nice things, such as rescuing Judith, but his arrogance and wisecracking antics have not changed. However, Negan's transformation since The Walking Dead season 6 finale has been dramatic in some ways, with the character serving as a helpful ally to Maggie and several other characters while also demonstrating a capacity for honesty and self-reflection that previously seemed impossible for the villain. Viewers wishing to spend more time with the rehabilitated Negan have a lot to look forward to, since The Walking Dead season finale will not be the last of the character. Negan and Maggie will get their own spin-off, a Daryl-centered series, a Michonne and a Rick program. Morgan indicated that old Negan might resurface during Negan and Maggie's The Walking Dead spin-off, Dead City. In an interview with Deadline, he explained that Dead City would take place 2 years after the conclusion of the main series, allowing Negan plenty of time to revert to his old ways. We see them in action on the city streets with a handful of terrifying-looking walkers in a new trailer for the pair's forthcoming series, which shifts things to New York. Dead City's cast includes Gaius Charles as Pearlie Armstrong, Elko Ivanek as the Croat, Jonathan Higginbotham as Thomas, Mahina Napoleon as Guinea, Trey Santiago Hudson as Jano, in addition to headliners Lauren Cohen and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Dead City was introduced months before the main Walking Dead program ended, proving Maggie and Negan's survival months in advance. Along with Dead City, the Walking Dead world will be expanded with spin-off programs starring Daryl by Norman Reedus, Rick by Andrew Lincoln, and Michonne by Denai Guerrera. Dead City is set to premiere on AMC in the United States in April 2023, while a UK broadcast has yet to be announced. There are many moments in the show where we see a different side of Jeffrey Morgan's character, Negan, and it makes you question if he really is evil. Do you believe that his actions were justifiable? Did they outweigh the horrific things he did? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.